Hello everyone, this is Sumit Bhatia. I'm a Sitecore certified developer, and today I will show you that how we can create a cascade drop-down list in Sitecore form. So what we are going to achieve that we have a if we have a condition that situation where we have a parent-child relationship, for example country or state you can say. So if we want to select a country, then the particular state for that country should be listed in the second drop down. So this is the control that we are going to discuss today. So this is the first drop down and this is the second drop down. So first drop down contains all the countries. So this is a Brazil, India, United States. So if I select India, then the second drop down will populate uh, the list of states of India. And if I select United States, then it should select the it should like fill with the United States countries, and if I go with the Brazil, then it should fill accordingly of the Brazil. So this kind of control we are going to discuss today. So this is fully custom control of Sitecore form. So let me show you how we can achieve this kind of thing. So for first we will create a control that is similar to the drop down list, and we will do some kind of modification to that one. So let me quickly go to the core database, and under the core database, if I go to content editor, I will open client, and then application, then forms, components, layout, property grid form, page settings, and property editor settings. So I have already created a control that is called cascade drop-down list, but I will show that how we can create that one. What I did is I have created a copy of this existing drop-down list control. So you can right click on that one, and using the insert options you can duplicate it, and it will ask you the name, and you can provide any kind of name. So for this control I have already given the name called cascade drop-down list control. So once it will create, we are going to expand that, and under the list items what I did is it comes with a single show empty item with you. So let me show you the drop down list here. So it comes with only this one, show empty item, and I have added four more properties that will be used while working with this kind of control. So if we add this property here, so it will list it this side when you drag and drop the control, and when you select the control you can see this property will be listed here, and you can provide you can choose the properties, and you can provide the some kind of values here to make it to populate it on the front end side. I will show you how and what is the use of these kind of properties in detail. So let me show you that how we can create this property. So for the first this is the show empty item, and this is a kind of form drop list parameters. So what I did is I have created a copy of this one role, and you can use them the duplicate one, and you can provide this you can get the copy of that existing one, and I have given the name called drop down list text field and drop down list value field, because this second drop down, I mean for the second drop down list, how we will fetch the value from the sitecore items. If we want to create a drop down list, we need a text field, and we need a value field. So to choose the text field and value field, so we have provided these two controls, that is a kind of form drop down list parameters, and two other properties, two other items we have already we also created. This is called second drop down list label. So once you drag and drop this control, you need to provide a label here. uh, this is the basic label for the first drop down list label, and for the second, uh, this is the label for the second drop down. So we have provided a text box where user can provide the label here, and the field name, user will provide the field name of the second drop down list. So this is the next uh, next you can say item I have added here, and these two items are of text box types, form text box parameter, and the two are the drop list type, because we want user to choose what will be the value field or what will be the text field, because we don't want any kind of typing mistake by user. So in the backend side we will not be able to fetch the results. So that's why we have used this as this drop list parameter. Okay, now we'll see that what kind of value we need to add with this kind of items. So let me go one by one. So what we need to provide is if we select the second drop down list field name, then if you scroll down, you need to provide the binding configuration. So this is the same as the name of the item, and this should be the value for the same second drop down list. Because this is also a text box, so I have added the value, I have added the binding configuration with the second drop down list label, the same name as item name, and this is will be the value. And you can see for both of these rendering item id, we have used a text box rendering item, because if we render that controls on the site forms, on the right hand side it should render a text box for these controls. Okay, and you also need to provide the form label. So here I have provided second drop down list label that will be listed here, second drop down list label, and same for the second drop down list field name. For the second drop down list text field and value field, these are kind of the drop list. So you can say here the rendering item id is drop list, and what I did is I have used the same name as item name as a uh, as a uh, as a binding configuration. And remember that this should be now the selected value, not the value. So in the text box it is a value, and in the drop list it will be the selected value. Same with this value field, and I have provided the label here for both of the items. So for the text field, second drop down list text field, and second drop down list text value field. Okay, now the thing is for these drop list where we will bind the drop down to select to allow user to select this second drop down list field name and the second drop down list text field and the second drop down list value field. So for this I have already added static data. So this is under this path. So let me select that and let me show you that where we can find and how I have created that. So if I search this item, so you can see under no, not this location, under the sitecore client, then application, form builder, and common settings, then property grid, and selected fields. So I have, what I did is there are already out of the box fields kind of things here. So I have created a copy of this navigations tab and name it selected fields. And I have added three items here, one for the ID, one for the name, and one for the display name. So you can see that I have provided the value underscore display name here, underscore name for this one, and underscore name for the ID. So I have set with my selected like the drop down list values to allow user to select this. And I have already show you that here static data, you need to bind the static data for this control. So one last step that we need to add is if you go to the list items, we need to provide all the controls along with this show empty item. So you can see that in this list item we have here the data source manager, show empty item, and we also need to add these four controls then uh, to uh, to be shown on the control on the right hand side. So this is we have done all the things from the core data size. Now we'll move on to the master database, and I will show you that what kind of changes we need to do for the master one. Okay, now we are into the master database, and let me show you the what kind of changes we need to do to create this control. So I will expand the template under system, under forms. You can see that if I go to the fields, I have created a copy of the existing drop down list control. So I have created a copy by using the duplicate, and I have created the cascade drop down list here. And I have, you can see that I have added four fields that I have defined into the core databases. So two of them are single line text, second drop down list field name, and second drop down list label, and two of them are drop list. So this is from this template side. And now we'll go to this system, and under the system we will go to settings, then forms, and field types, list. And now again we have created a copy of the drop down list control, and by using the duplicate, So this is the cascade drop down list. So now what we have changes here, the change of the view path, because we are creating our own CHTML file. So I will show you in the into the code side that what this CHTML contains and where this should go. So and what we have done is like we have created our own list like view model class. So I have defined the name of my class along with the namespace, and this is my assembly name, and this is the property editor. So this is the, if you go back, so we have selected the the template here, and finally the field template. Sorry, this is the template, this is the template, and this is from the core database. I think this is the entry from the core database. Yeah. So these selection we need to do to make this control, and now I think we are done from the site code side. Now we'll switch over to Visual Studio Code, and we'll see that what kind of changes we have done over there. Okay, so this is our Visual Studio Code, and what I did is like I have created a new model, view model for the Cascade drop-down list. So I have named it as Cascade drop-down list view model, and that is inherited from the out-of-the-box drop-down list view model. And here I have defined four new properties that I defined like previously I showed you that under the template I have added four fields for the to allow user to add the second drop down list field name, second drop down list label, and what will be the text field of for the drop down, and what will be the value field for the drop down. So under the init item properties, I am just getting the fields value, and update item properties, I am just updating this value. So this is a fixed code pattern that we need to follow to create this kind of model. So whatever new property you have defined into the code database and the template, you need to define the same property here. And now this will be this will be your view model, and that we were going to pass into the CHTML of that of this new control. So this is the cascade drop down list view model, and where it resides under the publish folder is under the views, form builder, field templates. This is this is their cascade drop down list uh, CHTML. Okay. So what I did is I have just passing the view model that we have newly created, cascade drop down list view model, and here the things I have changed, like I mean this is just a copy of that drop down existing out of the box drop down list. But what kind of changes we are going to do is we have added a new drop down list that is for the second drop down list, and here I am adding two attributes uh, to hold the value field and the text field. So data sc value field is the second drop down list value field that will pass from the sitecore form, and this is data sc text field. So this is the text field value that we are going to pass. Like I will show you that how we can allow what will the use of that, how why I have created the attribute for that. So this is the options that that will be used for the first drop down, and for the second drop down list I have added this is the same for the second drop down list, and I'm binding is with the second drop down list field name, and this will the same for the select text also, and another thing I think field name value field text field, and this is for the label text. So second drop down list label. So these four properties that we have defined into the cascade drop down list view model is going to be used in this way into the CHTML. Now we are all set with this CHTML part. One more thing that I have added is like I have given the unique class ID for like to access the field, access this HTML control from the Java from the jQuery. So for the first drop down, I have added a universal cascade select list drop down, and for the second one, I have added this universal cascade list child drop down list. So now this is for this HTML part, and I will show you that what kind of jQuery code we need to write for that one. So on the drop down change, I mean on the first drop down change function, what I'm getting is I'm getting the selected value. So if I in this case I will get the country name, for example India, and then I'm getting the text field and the value field from the data attribute that because if we are going to bind the second drop down, so what will the text field and the value field for the second drop down will be used. Now this is a like AJAX request that I'm passing API Sitecore Cascade select list item. To use this kind of AJAX request, what you need to do is you need to define a root particular here. So I have added a default root with API Sitecore controller name, action name and ID. Like you can use you can add these roots, but if you want to change your root, you want to create your own type of root, so you need to define that one as well. So now in this method, in this cascade drop down list controller, I have created a new controller and this is the action method. So here I am passing three values: the selected item in the first selected item. So for example, if we select the India, so that is the selected item, and the text field and the value field. And now we are hitting this selected item action method. So quickly go to the controller. So I have created a cascade drop down list controller that is inherited from the Sitecore controller, and I have added a JSON result action method got selected items, and these are the three fields that I'm passing here. And I am checking the some kind of null. I'm adding some kind of null checks here. And what I did is, what is the selected item? I'm getting the parent item using the ID, because we are passing the ID of the selected item for the first drop down. So I'm getting the ID here, and if the ID it does not return anything, so we are passing a blank JSON result. And if we get the ID, so we are we are retrieving the children of that item, and we are retrieving the fields, I mean the text field and the value field from that particular item. So for this I have added a method called get value for standard field. So if we get underscore underscore id, then I am returning the item dot id. And if we get underscore underscore item name, so I am returning the item dot name. So this is for the children item of Sitecore. And if you want to pass any kind of field from that values, for example, in the child item you have a field called title or description or something like that one. So if you pass that kind of thing, so it will just add x dot fields, and it will pass the field name of that particular item, and it will retrieve the value for that one. So this function will work for the ID for the item name and the fields that you want to pass as per your convenience for the item. So now if we have India, and now this function will retrieve all the childrens of the India. And I will show you in the site code that what kind of structure I have created for that one. So if I pass India, it will retrieve the children of the India. You can see the children items are the type of states of India. And state of India. So you will get the children, and it will create a JSON result for that item, and it will pass that JSON result to the HX request. So if we go to this HTML, so this is if the status is success, so I am getting the child list child list element here. And what I did is first, if you change the first drop down, so it will create it with empty. It will use the empty function to remove all the entries from the second drop down list. And it will create a jQuery.each. You can see a for each loop, and it will append all the children into the second drop down with the text and the value field. So this way, you can bind the second drop down list. And what else I can show you that under the controller, under the view model, to bind this kind of value, I have created a constant. So this is a constant file where I have added the name of the fields. And yeah, so CHTML I have already showed you, root config I have showed you, and this is a cascade drop down list controller. So that's all. That's the thing, I mean, we need to do from the code level side. So you can customize this code if you any convenience, as per your convenience. If you want to modify it, you want to add some kind of other logic, you can do into the code. So quickly go to this. Now I show you in the Sitecore that how what is the content item that I have created in Sitecore to create a parent-child relationship of country and states. And how the control works, how we can add the controls, and how it looks from the front end page. Okay, so this is the data that we'll use to bind that control, and this is from the sitecore side. So what I did is I have created a country folder, and under country folder we have multiple countries, and for each countries it is containing the particular state. So you can say Brazil contain 2 items, India contain 3 items, and United States contains 1 item. So this is the data that we'll use to bind this control. Now we go to the form designer, and under the form designer, you will see that if you go to this page, you will see a cascade drop down list here, and now you can drag and drop this to the left hand side form, but I have already added that one. So let me show you what it contains. So now first you can see that these are the 4 fields that we have created, that is holding the second drop down list field name, second drop down list label, second drop down list text field. This is the drop down because we use a drop list for that one. And second drop down list value field, this is also the same drop down. If you want to add a new value into the drop down, as you need to go to the core database, and as I showed you earlier in this video, so you can add a new item over there and it will be listed here with the text field and the value field. I mean user can choose the text field for this new field, the new item, and the value field also. So what I did is I'm using a dynamic binding here. So when I click dynamic, I can choose a data source. So I have choose this data source as a countries. So this is my data, and what I did is I want for the first drop down that the value field should be the ID and the text field will be the name. So this is the same concept out of the box that we have used to create to bind the second drop down list with the text field and the value field. So now you are done with this one, all the bindings, all the values you are done with it. You can apply and save that, and now we'll see that how it looks on the front end. So let me open that page. Yeah, so this is my first drop down and this is my second drop down. So you can say the first second drop down is empty right now, and the first drop down list contains with all the countries. So if I click on Brazil, so you can say that the AJAX request calls, and it retrieves all the child item of the Brazil. These are the 2 states under the Brazil. If I go to India, so you can see that it has first removed all entries from the second drop down, and it has banned 3 states here, and same with the United States. You can see here. So this way, like we can design this kind of control, and like we can use a controller, or we can use HX request to get the data, and we can put any kind of logic. So this also covers that if if are new to create a new control and you don't know that how to start with, how to create new fields that will show on the right hand side of the form, and what how you need to do some kind of coding to get the values from this control. So that's all about this Sitecore site. Thanks for watching. Hope you like the video.